Hey folks, Dr. Mike here for the Making Progress channel, video number 23 in our Infinity Forever series. In the productivity and work category is revel in your accomplishments. That's right, I said revel, not don't revel. Different. So what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about asking the question of, should you take pride and joy in your accomplishments that are near and dear to you? What are the downsides of doing so? We're going to examine those downsides to see if they have any merit. We're going to talk about the upsides of really soaking in your accomplishments, and then talk lastly about the best path forward and how to live your life in that regard. So, should you take pride and joy in your accomplishments? What does this mean exactly? To me, it's some version of a few things. It's potentially enjoying the journey toward accomplishment. Like you're putting together a fantastic article for a newspaper, the actual creation of the article, the writing, the organizing is like, you just love it. There's definitely that. So if someone's like, oh, was it tough to write that? You're like, tough's not the word I would use. Exhilarating. After the accomplishment happens, reveling in that accomplishment itself. Like, holy shit, I fucking did it. I won that 5K race. Oh my fucking God. There's also soaking in the aftermath of the accomplishment, award ceremonies and opportunities to go on podcasts, features in other people's books, your boss shaking your hand after a presentation well done. It's not something you do to yourself. It's aftermath that's outside of your control, but how should you relate to that? Should you really, really like it? Or should you be like, wow, the accomplishment is what it is, and I don't want to take any more credit than is due. Enjoying and not denying compliments from others on your accomplishment. So if they say, dude, like, you know, it's not something someone told me in a long time, but it's your last bodybuilding show, you look phenomenal. You can be like, oh, well, no, you know, all the guys look great. Yeah, that's totally cool. But you could also say, thank you. And that thank you tacitly admits you agree. You did look phenomenal. There's not anything wrong with that. As a matter of fact, it's the opposite of wrong, because that's exactly why you were bodybuilding, is to look exactly like you wanted to look. Might as well take the compliment. There is also the process of reflecting on your accomplishments much later. Days, weeks, months, even hours. Like after the award ceremony for your incredible PhD dissertation, you're like sitting in fucking shitter by yourself. You're like, whew. And then you're like, oh yeah, I fucking did it. I fucking did it. Is it a good thing to think? Or is that too egotistical? Is that toxic? Should you be encouraging that? Should you be talking in your own head about, well, nah, it's okay. Like, stay calm. Don't take too much credit, especially while on the toilet. Or should you be really, really soaking in it? In addition to that, weeks later, months later, years later, when it's not even top of mind, coming back to that accomplishment, being grateful for the fact that it happened, that it was really good, and really meditating on the fact that it will be always something that you earned. Maybe it was like a Little League MVP award when you were 9, but nobody can take that away from you unless they have a time machine, and they don't yet. So it's kind of strange in some sense if, you did an incredible thing 30 years ago. Some would say it's strange that, let's say you're on a plane headed somewhere else and there's no Wi-Fi or whatever for the moment, and you're just sitting there, right? And you think, fuck, I really did that thing 30 years ago. It's fucking incredible. Some people would be like, oh, this is depressing. But is it? Would you rather not think about it? Would you rather take it for granted? Would you rather think about it in a negative way? Let's talk about it. And we start many of these discussions from the downsides. It's good to get right into the teeth of the criticism right away. You don't want to paint any irrationally exuberant pictures. You would think that pretty much everyone unanimously loves nothing more than taking pride in accomplishments and encouraging other folks to do so as well. But many people have some degree of reservations about doing so. And here are a few common ones. I think I have 4 general ones written down, and I'm sure you can think of some more. Reasons why people think taking pride and soaking in, reveling in your accomplishments is unwise or poor practice. First is pride and the idea that pride is sinful. I mean, in formal religion, pride is almost always a sin. And if you're not religious, if you're secular, then, pride is kind of icky. According to very many people, it's very egotistical. It's an unhealthy part of your psychology to feed. So if you keep reveling in your accomplishments, you're kind of feeding this kind of toxic egoism, and you should really be more centered. You'd have chi or whatever the fuck, right? So it doesn't matter if you come from a religious perspective or a secular perspective. A lot of people have not so much love for pride. Totally understandable, by the way. We'll get to critiquing these in the next section. Second, even if we say pride isn't terrible, it's not sinful, at the very least, many people have caricatured pride as unbecoming, right? Children feel proud, like, look, mommy, I did this. But it's very unlikely that adults will tell other adults, look, I did this, because adults are kind of calm and they move on, or at least they eat it internally. They don't boast. Feeling pride, and especially sharing your pride with others, can be looked at as gauche. It's so gauche, darling. But it's inappropriate for cultured people to do. And there's something to that. You're basically, from another perspective, you're bragging. And the thing is, there is some truth to what I'm going to say here as a critique. Alphas don't brag. Alphas dominate humbly because they're alpha. Betas brag because betas are less than. And in order to re-architect the narrative around them that other people perceive them as less than, when they accomplish something, they're apt to boast about it. So they're informing those around them, hey, I'm actually really good. And the number one way to convince people that you suck is to boast about how good you are, in many respects. Tell me you're a beta without telling me you're a beta. Go brag around about how fucking awesome you are. Like, if I went on social media right now and I was like, hey guys, just want to share some things with you. I'm one of the fucking smartest people in the fitness industry, if not the smartest. I've got millions of dollars, all these fucking things I've done with my life. Let's fucking hear it from me. He'd be like, Mike's having a bad day. I need to DM Mike, like, hey, you good, bro? You are not feeling alpha. Because if you feel alpha, if you feel tip of the spear, you feel pinnacle, you feel accomplished, you don't typically need to go telling people that you're the shit. With what I just said, mostly lies and exaggerations. And it's, if not sinful, icky, for sure. Even for the person that does it. If you've ever bragged to someone, you kind of overdid it, they're like, oh yeah, cool. Mm-hmm. And you're like, oh, I want to take all that back. I seem like a fucking dick. There's totally a thing. Betas feel less than, so they make up for it with boastful pride. Thus, pride gets a nasty tint. Agreed. Number 3, an interesting one we'll tackle in the critique later. Pride, some will say, I believe Sam Harris has said this before in a few different ways, to his credit, because there's a lot of truth here. Pride is a misunderstanding of cause and effect. What? How? You're just a collection of atoms. Truth. There's no you in there. And whatever you've accomplished is an inevitability of the universe arranging you via your genetics, life experiences, and various opportunities. The universe run in that particular algorithmic way had to make you accomplish all of these things. You are fruit on the tree of the universe. You're not separate from it. You're not some first actor that architected their life around you. Your life and everything around you was already architected. You're just an outcome. You are not the cause. You are the effect. Everything about you is the effect. You didn't build the universe. You just got lucky to get some great experience in the universe acting through you. So what is it that you're actually proud of? Like if someone, hits a baseball really hard, it goes 100 miles an hour or some shit. I don't even know. It fucking pitches 100 miles an hour, whatever. They smash it out of the ballpark. They could be like, fuck yeah, I'm the man. You could be like, well, isn't the fact that you hit that baseball just a matter of your motor coordination, mostly handled by your primary motor cortex and cerebellum, and the fact that you have the leverages and muscularity in order to propel the ball that like that far? And they're like, yeah. Like, so which part of those things did you construct? And they're like, technically none. Okay, so why are you proud of that? It's just a cause and effect. And you're like, yeah, that's true. That's true. So there's something to that. But we're going to pick that apart a little bit more because there's more to it than meets the eye. But nonetheless, from a kind of almost Buddhist perspective, you could step back and be like, pride is a little bit illogical. Number 4, lastly, this is a big one. Many people fear, and the fear here is that reveling in your accomplishments can reduce your desire to want to accomplish more. Satisfying the drive will reduce it. It'll make you complacent. To stay hungry, to drive for more success, the idea is you can't admit success to yourself. Someone, you hit a big lift in the gym and someone's like, dude, that's pretty good. You're like, yeah, man, whatever. Like, it's all right. Like, that's really good. You just bench 4 plates. Like, yeah, but I want 5, man. Can't admit, you know what I'm saying? Can't rest too long. Okay. Maybe not entirely wrong. I absolutely see where they're coming from, but that's the logic. People will say, success is the great killer of motivation for more success. They'll say that about rock stars. Scott the Video Guys, it's been said about him before. And same thing because he's a rock star. But it's a thing that definitely people think. Let's find out if it's true. Let's try to poke some holes in all of these 4. So first, the idea that pride is sinful. So if you're coming from a religious perspective, you also have to read the holy books that you read and realize that eating shrimp and being gay are also sinful. And you can think whatever you want about gay people, but eating shrimp is sinful. At the very least, low-hanging fruit is like utter nonsense. And so if an old holy book tells you some things that are really important and super awesome life lessons, Judeo-Christian values, whatever, Islamic values, amazing. If you're looking to be a technical literalist and read all the stuff and say, this is a sin, this is a sin, this is a sin, you're going to find out that the book doesn't map onto reality all that well and concludes a whole lot of nonsense. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that, but literalist religion is not for thinking people. However, because these great books have tons of wisdom, they did hit on a thing that is true, and that nasty me versus them, I'm the champion, they're all fucking losers, that kind of pride is off. And maybe though not sinful, it's at the very least very, very icky. But there are other forms of reveling in your accomplishments that are purely positive, that do not involve the degradation of anyone around you, or anyone even in theory, and there's no sin required. So not all pride has to be toxic, negative pride. That's the big critique there. What is the proper way to revel? We'll get to that in a sec. Sounds like I'm fucking doing a religious sermon. Number 2, the critique that pride is unbecoming. To that end, there's absolutely a way to revel in your accomplishments that's really insulting to those around you, 100%. Like, you're just chilling with friends over drinks and you're like, man, let's talk about me. They're like, okay. I'm so rich and handsome. Fucking, I can't do any wrong. Is that right, fellas? And they're like, you're the man. Woo. And secretly they're like, I hope this guy dies. So if you're going to revel around others, you have to do so tactfully. You fart around others. You typically don't shit your pants around others. There's some gray areas there, some brown areas, but there's definitely some cutoff points of stuff you do and stuff you don't. Like, you can be very, very proud of the body you have, but walking naked in front of a kindergarten class may not be the best way to show it off. You say, but officer, I love my body. You're like, well, yes, but those children have no choice now but to see your body in their dreams for the rest of their lives. They might not love that. So that being said, to folks that are close to you, close friends, family, with permission from them of like, hey, like, is it cool if we like revel in some shit together? A lot of times they'll be like, yes. Noting that you're not just trying to blow your own horn, you're just trying to like soak in it a little bit because you earned it. Remember, we'll get to that later. It's usually all good. And as a matter of fact, the closest people around you, those that really love you, should want you to soak up in your accomplishments. At least a little bit, probably a lot. I personally egg my friends on. I'll compliment my friends that have done something impressive and be like, go, revel, begin to smile. Well, fucking talk to Scott, the video guy, to be like, Scott, you are amazing at your job. Do you know that? Do you know how rare that is? And he'll be like, oh, shucks, mister. Just kidding. He never says that. He usually just punches me in the face because he always just punches me in the face. It's no different Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But it's really pleasing for those truly who love you to watch you kind of be like, fuck, I fucking did it. And they're like, yes, you fucking did it. Say it again, say it again, say it again. They're your biggest fans. And if you can't revel, even call it boast, just feel the fucking shockwave of the fucking energy you let out into the world, feel your accomplishments a little bit in public around those people, you really have to ask two questions. One, are you just going about it all wrong and you're being a douche? Maybe. Or two, are those really the people that love you the most / have the healthiest relationships with what it is you're doing? Like, if my wife was like, man, I really fucking did great on this fucking project, how am I going to be taken aback by that in the wrong way? Am I jealous of my wife for being better at work than I am? That's my fucking problem. That's not her fucking problem. Another thing is like, I love her, literally. Isn't it amazing that she's doing great? Don't I want her to say it more, to really believe it more? Don't I want her soul to soak in happiness? Don't I want to watch that happen? Well, yeah. So after victories in sports, people celebrate with you. Any other kind of accomplishment, you should be celebrating with you. Now, maybe they're more reserved, maybe that's not for everyone, but the idea that you can't really revel in your accomplishments because it'll offend the people around you that are the closest to you really presupposes a very interesting relationship between you that is not the kind of relationship you would expect with people that actually love you or are actually close to you. Because when my friends and my family, they get on a rant about how fucking awesome they are, I'm leading that fucking job. I'm the cheerleader. Their sport is bragging about themselves and I'm fucking with pom-poms and shit, waiting in the locker room in the back afterwards. Isn't that right, Scott, the video guy? Go team. You guys ever just want to be like a cheerleader that just like dates the homecoming king? I've never wanted that myself often. Anyway, even if you're not doing this to other people, you can still be proud on your own head. You could be taking the bus home from work where your boss told you, dude, you did fucking amazing. You took over the late shift. You knocked it out of the park. And in that, sitting there in the bus with your headphones in, heading home, you can at the very least be like, yeah, fuck yeah, fuck yeah, fuck yeah, I'm the fucking man. I fucking did it. And the lady next to you is like, you're saying that out loud, right? You're like, oh, sorry. Geez, I didn't do anything, ma'am. She pats you on the back. She's like, you're the shit. And then she flies off because she's an angel. In any case, in your own head, there's nobody to offend. Some people, many people won't even take credit for something and revel in their accomplishments in their own head. Yeah, just straight up say it. Asians, I'm looking at all of you, literally. I wasn't joking. Jews, you too. All right. Just kidding, YouTube. Don't cancel me. Number 3, a personal favorite of mine in this subtopic. The idea that pride is a misunderstanding of cause and effect. This is a logic that, as paraphrasing something Thomas Sowell would say, goes pretty far, but not far enough. It's not the most well thought out logic in the world. Let's actually think it through. People will say, look, you shouldn't take pride in your accomplishments because you are just fruit of the universe and there's no reason to take pride because there's all just cause and effect, right? You're just like domino in the chain. If we really anesthetize, and anesthetize is the wrong word. If we really just completely use only bare bones logic like that, and we completely cleaned the universe of any emotion or attachments or feelings, we can also come up with some really crazy conclusions that pass the muster for that kind of reasoning. Because the reasoning is this. It's all just sequences of logic. You're just on that string. And any emotional attachment you have to that logic is just a misunderstanding. It's all just machines. Everything's just mechanical. Cause and effect. Emotions like pride and stuff, they're misplaced. Dope. Let's use homeless people literally for fuel. let's take homeless people off the street, burn them in a giant urn, and then just get energy out of that, and we'll power our societies. No more homeless people, plenty of high carbon fuel. But hold on a sec. Homeless people are human, and they have feelings. And suffering is bad, even though we're all just molecules. Even though we're all just molecules, emotions still matter. They're still pertinent in any sensible analysis. So when people say, well, the same literal people someone will say, I really took pride in what I did. And they say, that's a misunderstanding philosophically. We're all just machines. You go, okay, great. Let's burn all the homeless people to death for fuel. They go, whoa, 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 whoa. Homeless people have feelings. Like, wait, but I have feelings too, motherfucker. Don't we all have feelings? Why is it that we say that when we're trying to take some credit for some shit we did, all of a sudden we should just look at ourselves like machines, but when we're onto some bad shit, we just look at ourselves and other people as just feeling, breathing, living beings, which have fucking quote unquote souls that matter. So if you think, hey, you're human too, just like a homeless people who doesn't want to get burned in a fucking giant kiln or whatever, then you're human. Enjoy being proud and happy. It's a part of being human. On a technical level, do you have to feel like you're some original causality locus to take pride in that? No, because you can at least feel grateful that you, an earlier version of you, actually put in the work. Whatever, the universe hooked it up. Sweet. But I was the one that did the thing. And I'm grateful that the universe gave me a chance to do the thing. And I'm proud that I did the thing. Now, there really is no me, sweet. Then there really is no homeless person suffering inside of a body when you burn them to death. You're not going to say that. No. There's definitely a person that suffering is real. Okay, isn't pride real too? You cannot have it both ways. It's either both are real or neither one of them is real. It doesn't matter. Let's fucking burn everybody. So you have to understand that it's totally okay to experience human emotions as long as you contextualize that they're human emotions. So if someone's like, do you feel proud of the fact that you just got a promotion at work? You're like, fuck yeah, I do. And they're like, well, isn't it like all causality in the universe or whatever? You're like, yeah, I know, but I still feel good about it. Just like, aren't homeless people just arrangements of molecules, and as soon as the oven turns on, they'll die and it doesn't matter. They're not even suffering anymore. Like, yeah, that's true. But also it's really fucked up to burn them. Like, oh yeah, you're right. Both could be true. So a lot of times I'll sell this argument to people and they'll go halfway, but they won't get all the way. And one of the things that prevents them from reveling in their own head about their accomplishments is feeling guilty that other people are not as lucky. I've dealt with tons of this. I'm genetically mostly Jewish. I can wake up guilty. 3 p.m. I'm guilty. I go to bed guilty as fuck. And fuck, I said, insert funny alt-right thing. You should be guilty, man. You fucking ruin our societies and promote rap music and porn, Jews, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, had to get that out in comments. Enjoy. So feeling guilty that you are lucky enough to have had all these accomplishments happen to you, whatever part you played in them, and that other people aren't as gifted is definitely a thing. But I'll tell you this, you can feel free to stop feeling guilty forever. And I'll tell you exactly why. A 2-component reason. Hashtag, write this down. Like entrepreneur, Gary V, write this down. 1, you feeling guilty only hurts you. It doesn't help you. Guilt is a negative emotion. It does not enhance your operation in any way. It's just a bad time in your head. For that reason, you should stop doing it. And then you go, now hold on a sec. If I don't feel guilty, what about those people I'm forgetting about that aren't as lucky? Part 2, go help them, motherfucker. You feeling guilty doesn't help the fucking homeless or the needy or the peoples of Africa and Southeast Asia at all. Myanmar's in a fucking war all the time and you just feel guilty about it. Pick up a fucking M4 and go over there and fucking hurt somebody that's bad, goddammit. Or go lobby a fucking senator or congressman. Why don't you donate some money to the Raytheon Corporation so they can fucking make drones over there to go kill the bad people? Go over there and join the Peace Corps and just be a human shield. Anything. Adopt a child from Myanmar that's been displaced. Whatever, you're conservative, you're on the political left, it doesn't matter. Guilt in your head doesn't help any fucking buddy, and it just hurts you in the literal emotional sense that guilt is not an emotion you want to experience. It has no functional utility in this regard. Guilt typically has a functional utility. One, when you feel guilty, your face shows it. So in our ancestral societies, it communicates the fact that you have a conscience to other people. And two, guilt is a wellspring that when it rises enough gets you to do something positive to assuage your guilt and actually do good. You're smart, right? You're on this fucking nerd podcast. You know things. Just cut the fucking middleman out. Fucking enjoy your accomplishments. And when you feel guilty about them, go do something good in the world for an actual fucking human being. Make some systemic changes, do whatever the fuck in the real world. Having guilt is not going to do you any fucking good. Any good at all. You either help or you feel great in your own head. If you're not helping and you feel bad in your own head, you're just like taking a giant stick and putting it through the spokes of your bicycle. There's no upside, I guarantee you. So that one's gone. Number 3 is gone. Number 4, reveling will reduce your drive to want to accomplish more. Now, I have a very interesting question in this regard. It's very close to home for me. Has anyone even attempted to vet this? This is what my favorite philosopher, Thomas Sowell, would call a notion. It's just an idea out there in the ether. It's not even phrased as a hypothesis. It's sure as shit not a fact. It's just something people say. And other people are like, yeah, that makes sense. Does it though? Does it? If you score with a hot ass girl, right? Because you were super fucking smooth. You just fucking, sometimes you're talking to bitches, you just fucking nail it. You can't say anything wrong. All right, you want to get out of here? Okay. Just fucking, that's it. Scott the Video Guys every other Thursday. If you just fucking nail it and you were super smooth, does getting a date with her discourage you from being smooth in future conversations with females? What? Well, yeah, okay, post-nut clarity, definitely. Like after you ski, she's like, what are we? You're like, oh, you are here and you live here. I am a mystery man, gone. Out, just right out the fucking window. But a day later, when your testicles fill back up with man impetus, having been successful smooth-talking a bitch and getting on a date with her is going to help you motivate to go for more. If you smooth talk a bitch and it doesn't work and you don't get a date, that actually demotivates you. You're not like, yeah, man, that makes me want to try even harder. You're like, fuck. Just inconveniencing people. Too short, I'm too ugly, I'm too poor to be talking to anyone. I'm just going to go sit in my apartment. But if you're successful, it actually stokes the fire for more. Reveling in your accomplishments, I think in most cases boosts your drive to accomplish more. If you get a promotion at work, and you revel in it for the next week, mostly in your own head, as it gets a little old for you, like taking your Employee of the Month trophy and putting it on the fucking desk every day. If you do that, you, weeks later, when you're working hard at a task and your boss is around and you're doing a really good job, someone could ask you, hey, like, why do you try so hard at work? And emotionally feel back to the time, feel back, not think back, feel back to the time that you did great at work and then you reveled in the accomplishment. Guess what you feel? Accomplishment, reveling, positivity, amazingness. And that your brain has associated with doing a good job. So now when you're doing a really good job, someone's like, dude, you are really taking this job seriously. You're like, I know, it's great. And they're like, why? Because it's going to lead to good things. And it is. Again, when you get Employee of the Month, again, and you get promoted, you get more money and all that other really, really great stuff. Success typically potentiates further success. When Will Smith gets a fucking $100 million for a movie or some shit, he's not like, ooh, finally, all right. That's it. No more work, no more movies. I've had enough. Guys, real talk, I've made considerably more money in my life than I ever thought was possible. And every time I made more money, 2 things happened. One, I reveled in it, at least most of the time when I discover the shit that I'm telling you now. And then 2, I'm like, yeah, more money sounds even better. Let's do this. Let's work as hard as fucking possible. The harder I work, the more money I make, the harder I end up working. Definitely some potential for spiraling out of control into insane fatigue, which I did this past 2 weeks. But nonetheless, if I was working hard and I made lots of money and I never really felt how awesome that was, I may be less inclined to continue to work hard. So the idea that having an accomplishment and really soaking it in makes you rest on your laurels, I find wildly inadequate. And I think most of the examples of that are urban legends. And I think that a lot of the people who have had great success and then just did nothing after, they were just meant to do nothing after. That success is mostly like they did it and then maybe they burnt out, or maybe they didn't want to do this to begin with. They were just really talented. They were like, fuck that, I'm out, cash me out. Typically, reveling in your success, really, really letting it soak in and convince your brain this is a good thing that I did, makes you want more of that good thing. It's almost a curse. It's the hedonic treadmill. Once you get to a certain level of accomplishment, your brain gets used to it. And then it's like, okay, what more? And if your brain is getting used to it and it has a positive tint to it emotionally, then you're very likely to be like, wow, fuck, man, I want more of whatever the fuck that is. And I'm going to go harder and again and again. If you ever see this situation with world champions, it happens all the time. Anyone who wins mixed martial arts world championships, croquet world, doesn't matter. Any world championship, they'll always say the same thing. Almost everyone. If you look at these interviews, they're like, dude, I really just couldn't believe it. I was so over the moon. And a couple days later, I'm like, okay, what's next year look like? Very, very few people, when they get to the top, are able to put the sword down and retire. Very, very few. They want at least a few title defenses. Why? Because the unbelievable experience of becoming champion with all its positivity made them want to do it even more. They thought it was going to be like one and done. I know people that were in the position. I know someone who won one of the world's, I keep this slightly anonymous, won one of the world's greatest fitness contests. And you know, their particular division, they were the best in the world. And their plan, as I heard it, was I'm just going to do this one time, pinnacle, milk out the year of sponsorships and travel and seminars, and then retire to start the next phase of my life. What did they do? The next year they competed again. Didn't win, took very high honors. What are they doing this next year? They're competing again. Because fucking success is addictive. So if you let yourself really feel that success, bask your brain in those beautiful juices of positive reinforcement, you're going to want more of the shit 9 times out of 10, not less. So the idea that reveling in your success, like not admitting your success to yourself is good because it keeps you hungry, is the stupidest bullshit I've ever heard my entire life. Do you know what keeps you hungry? Is eating the pizza, remembering how fucking tasty that pizza was, and then waiting a few days until you're hungry again and going, I want some fucking pizza. And they're like, how do you know the pizza is going to taste good? Because I've had it before. It's fucking amazing. Versus you earn the pizza, but you don't eat it. And then you eat your chicken and broccoli and you put the pizza away. And then someone's like, what are you going to do now? You're like, I'm going to work for that pizza again. Like, why? Because I don't know. People tell me it tastes good, but I never allowed myself to feel that. What? You're going to burn out doing that. And all the people I've known personally that wouldn't really let themselves soak in their success, even deep down, and I've known some people like that, they got out of the success track and went somewhere else. Whatever track they were on, it wasn't for them anymore because they never got the positives of it. To that end, lastly, what are the upsides of reveling? So I'm saying, hey, it's okay to revel in your success, but are there net upsides? Is it just neutral? I think there are a lot of net upsides. First, you actually get to enjoy your accomplishments while you work on them. Enjoying the journey. It's an important thing. The journey is most of what you do in life. Getting paid or winning a big championship or getting a promotion at work, these instantaneous moments. The rest of your time is just spent creating. Like, what am I doing now? I'm talking in front of a fucking camera while Scott, the video guy, ostensibly masturbates. I think that's what he's doing behind the curtain. I think he's telling himself shh because he's got this weird fantasy where he's, yeah, I'll stop. I was going to get us canceled for that one. Some jokes that you just can't make them yet on the media. So the journey is really most of everything. And if you're enjoying the journey, the building, the creating that makes you the great version of yourself, that is huge. It's the biggest part of your life in your only life for so long. And you want to probably try to enjoy everything you can, as long as the enjoying doesn't degrade your future. So if you're enjoying so much that you're pushing away work that makes your future better, you're a fucking short-sighted idiot. If you're enjoying the work that makes you better in the future, you've unlocked the key to eternal happiness. I'm not joking. Big deal. Now, after you've achieved your accomplishments, next point, you actually get to enjoy them. I mean, there are other reasons to achieve accomplishments, not just so you get to enjoy them, but goddamn, enjoying your achievements is a good one. And imagine the alternative. Imagine sitting in your own private plane because you're loaded as fuck after generations of fucking effort on your part, and you're 50 years old and not being able to enjoy the life around you that you slaved for. Like, in my own private plane. Yeah. I sure don't want to gloat. So that's just, a lot of people have private planes. This isn't even the newest model. What the fuck did you sacrifice your whole life for? If not to be in a private plane and being like, holy fucking shit. Every now and again, rich guy moment coming up. No, not really. No, yeah, really. Every now and again, my wife and I will scrimp and save and take a business class flight, international business with the layback seats to somewhere. We go on vacation once every 5 fucking years or some shit like that. When I'm on international business and I get all the fancy food and the huge screen TV and the whole layback thing, there's not a single moment in which I'm not like, fuck, I can't fucking believe this is happening. And then they'll load the plane where the people who are not buying business class tickets that day walk by you and they look at you like kind of in like shock and jealousy or like disdain. I'm always like weirded out by that. I'm like, oh God, don't look at me. I'm like the Titanic rich asshole that up there that, make sure to save my jewels first. So other than that weird guilt, which is again pointless because I'm not helping those people at all with my guilt, I'm reveling in the fact that all of my hard work, whatever the universe caused, fuck it, thanks universe, I'm enjoying the living fuck out of the celebration of wealth, which is what it is, because holy fucking shit, it is amazing. And you can do this on any fucking level. You work a few hours at work and you earn enough money to buy a delicious burrito at Chipotle. As you're eating it, you're like, wow, this is so amazing. By global and historical standards, this is magic. Somebody just magically made the perfect food for me at nominal cost. I earned this. Fucking yes. This is an accomplishment, me eating this burrito. Sitting in business class, an accomplishment. Michael Jordan sitting around all of his trophies, accomplishment. Revel in that shit. You earned that shit. Why wouldn't you? There is no good answer to that question. If we cannot enjoy the accomplishments, the ones we grinded to the fucking teeth for, this is also a very serious hit to any future plans for success or accomplishment. Let's say the hypertrophy app that we have at RP, let's say it does XYZ million in sales. What XYZ times 10 million in sales. And every time it hits a new landmark, I'm like, yeah, okay, what's next? I look back on the whole process 10 years later when I don't have to work anymore because all the app money, and I'll be like, oh, was it really interesting to like be a part of that journey? I'd be like, no, I never really cut myself any slack for that. And people would be like, okay, really? Like, yeah, I just pissed away like years of my life constantly working on a product and being super scared that it was going to fail and sleepless nights. In the end, the emotion was just, oh, okay, fuck, come on. You can do fucking better than that. You can do better than that. Like, try to channel that rock star shit. Like, you played the best show of your life. You go backstage, shower before the groupies get on you. Scott the Video Guy, you're familiar with the rock world. Is there an order of operations after I smash the guitar and I go backstage? Do the groupies, are they immediately there ready for me? Or is there a transitional time where like I get on the bus or I sign some autographs? When does the orgy start is what I'm trying to say. So usually you pick out girls in the crowd and you send security out to grab them and bring them That's back. Fucking very Weinsteinian and very fucking weird. But it's all voluntary. Yeah. The security's not making them come with you. No. They're like, hey, like Kid Rock says that you look nice. And you should come backstage for the after party. And they know what they're getting themselves into? Oh, yeah. Okay, well, so no time for shower. But as you walk back, Kid Rock style, from the stage to the orgy area. Say that again? You make them wait for your shower. You gotta make them wait. Make these bitches wait. Fuck this whole presentation. If I taught you anything ever, it's make them wait. Take a shower, and while you're showering, be like, fuck yeah, I'm a fucking rock star. That kind of shit in your own little small way that all of us have. Number 3, by reveling in your accomplishments, in whatever way you feel is best, you create a massive long-term deep reinforcement of hard work towards a goal. If the work is tough as shit and it really drains you, the big ass reward of reveling and really taking that reward, not saying, can you imagine you spend years developing a new technology and then when someone purchases it from you, they give you, $5 million and you're like, nah, that's okay. It's the thought that counts. That's the same thing you're doing at an emotional level when you accomplish something big that you want to be proud of, but you're like, I'm not going to be proud of this. Pride is icky. That's what you're doing. Over time, if you pair ultra hard fucking work to an insane amount of reveling in your accomplishments from that work, in your brain, the two start to link so that over the years, hard work starts to feel more and more like, man, this stuff is great. I feel like if I keep going, great stuff will happen. And it's a feeling. How do you get that feeling? Because in the past, every time you've done great work, there was a reveling at the end and there's a cause and effect there. It's just like you're a rat in a maze. It's a reward. I did the thing. I get a reward. I walked through the maze. I got a piece of cheese. It would be very strange to tell a rat, hey, you did it. You did the whole maze. And the rat's like, dope. Where's my cheese? You're like, well, it's really just all about the journey itself. The journey is the reward. Can you fucking imagine that? Can you imagine if your employer told you that shit? Like, dude, I'm the best selling guy at our company. What do you think? He's like, yep, the journey is its own reward. This was a meeting about bonus pay. Like, yep, today's bonus pay is Buddhist. You've already been paid by the universe. And you're like, oh, sweet. That's how workplace violence happens. So no, it is good for you to revel in your accomplishments because it's going to make you more likely to accomplish later because your animal brain links the work and the reward over time. And if you don't revel purposefully for whatever reasons that we talked about, pride is icky, for example, that link becomes less tight or no link at all. And then your impetus, your drive to continue to work hard and accomplish is less than it would otherwise have been. And can't we all utilize a little bit more drive to accomplish the things we want in this life? Yeah, I think that's a good thing. So the best path forward as I see it, 5-step plan for success. I need to be a success guru. Fuck all this understanding bullshit. Number 1, set goals that are 4 things: desirable, build long-term worth, challenging, but also realistically attainable. Set those goals. When you've set them, put in the work. Enjoy the work as much as you can, but don't pat yourself on the back until the deed is done. Reveling in a non-accomplishment is fucking stupid and makes you look like a clown. Number 3, bask in the outcome. Really soak in your success. You literally earned it. Anytime someone, even not so close to me, as an accomplishment, sometimes if I'm feeling social, I'll take the time to tell them, hey, listen, like, you did really, really, really good. And they start going the usual thing, which is they're just being polite. They're, oh, no. I'm going to cut you off. You should be proud of this. I'm very proud of you. And if you really genuinely tell someone that, they're like, holy shit, thanks. Whoa, okay, yeah, wow, yeah. And you really, really, really want to soak. It's the shower water of accomplishment you're soaking in. There's nothing better to soak in. It doesn't exist. Other than like maybe sex juices or something. It's a tie. Reflect on that success on occasion. Don't just soak and be like, okay, soaking's done. I'm never going to think about winning that championship again. Every now and again, when your brain sort of floats you in there, think back on it and really, really, really re-soak in it. Really reflect on your success. Be grateful. Gratefulness is a big deal. And then point number 5, set your next goal. And your next goal is going to be helped in your inspiration and motivation to accomplish it because of that implicit memory, that emotional connection that goals make you really fucking happy to attain. And you know that the grind to a goal has the positive outcome of making you feel really fucking good. And that is a big deal. And if you ever wonder, is it worth feeling good about your accomplishments? And you're the accomplished one? Ask the people that took 2nd and 3rd and 5th or 8th next to you how they would feel if they got accomplished. There's a lot of tact required for that one. But it's easy for the champion to say, well, thank you so much, folks, but it's just all in a day's work. But the guy who took 2nd place, he'd be like, how would you feel if you were a champion? He'd be like, I'd be standing in rivers of gold, pouring metric tons of fucking positive energy on me. I am bereft. I feel valueless. I spent XYZ amount of time preparing for this bullshit, and I got nothing for it. then you start to really realize that when you do have the thing, don't waste it. Bask in it. It's like being given the greatest wine or whatever in the world to taste. And you're like, yeah, whatever. You mix it with soda, you drink it. Don't do that. Don't do that. Really do the bullshit, earthy wine shit. Really try to soak it in, even if you're not a wine person. So even if you're not a big success person or you have some success, try to revel in it more than you would otherwise. Because I'm telling you, it's fucking worth it. And it's all huge net positive. Can you guys tell I lost a bodybuilding show recently? Jesus Christ. All right. I'm going to go stare at a wall and think negative thoughts. Just kidding. See you guys next time.